Chris Jericho. Please tell people out there what your documentary, The Death Tour, is about. You helped produce this one.
Oh my gosh, you got an hour?
Oh,
We wanted to do this film to kind of capture the legend of what the Death Tour is. I mean, if you're a wrestler, and especially if you're from Canada, everybody's heard of this tour, which is, this forage into the northern wilds of Manitoba in the middle of winter to go perform shows at reservations, at First Nation reservations. And um, it's something that has legendary status, but it's so much more than that, which is why we wanted to try, and capture some of it on film. And we did that and so much more.
hell yeah. It was a revelation to me. I'm sort of new to the wrestling hype, but now I'm like a certified addict now. It's so much fun. Talk about the impact that these wrestling shows have on those reservations.
Well, and like you said, I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to get into the wrestling business and get to the next level. And being on the Death Tour is one of those, it's almost a badge of honor to be involved with it. And it gives you an indication on, do I have what it takes to be in this biz? Or do I maybe want to try something else? Because I think a lot of people that do the tours, this is the peak of their careers. They don't do a lot more than this, or a lot more after this, and that's okay too. So I think, as much as people can go, well, Chris Jericho did a Death Tour, and Adam Copeland did a Death Tour, and Don Callis and Dr. Luther and Christian Cage, and the Lance Storm, and the names go on and on and on. I think there's dozens and dozens and dozens of people who've done these tours that you've never heard of and won't hear of again. So there really is that aspect of it. And I think when you are just starting out, you want to be involved in the Death Tour. It's almost a challenge. Can I take it? Or, it's infamous. It's got legendary status. Is
Right,
it
right.
really as bad or as good as it seems? And that's what we wanted to capture.
Yeah, I noticed there were only kids in the audience. Why is that?
Well, when you're going up to these, towns on the reservations, there's not a lot coming to town, and wrestling always kind of captures kids' imaginations, because they're like real life superheroes coming to town to
Yeah.
perform for you. And that's something else that was amazing to see on film, that, the kids are super excited. It's not Chris Jericho or John Cena coming to town, but it's their version of it. And you see in the film, the Eskimo comes to town, and for the first time in his life, he's a superhero. And the kids feel that way because it's an actual wrestler right in front of you that you can touch and smell and see and be involved with. So I think that's something that was really interesting to me. And we really got a lot of that, is just the hero worship
Oh
that
yeah.
the people in the town have when the wrestlers come to their home. And that works on both sides.
All right. And will you be attending the Slam Dance Festival in January with this film?
Yeah, I'll be there, man. I've done a lot of things in my career. I've never had a documentary that I produced, premiere at a film festival as prestigious as this one.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's a great moment for me as well. It's kind of another flag that you can plant on the mountain of being a documentarian that had this documentary that out of thousands and thousands of submissions was chosen. So yeah, I'm excited to be there and kind of see the reactions live and in person.
Nice. All right. Like I said, I just recently got into wrestling, but now I feel like I'm really into it, and I really enjoy FMW. And can you tell me about what it was like to perform at the FMW back in those days?
Well, FMW was a pioneering company in that it was very violent and very free form. There was really no rules. There was a lot of martial art champions, legit, that were there, kickboxers and jujitsu and judo and that sort of thing, because it stood for Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling.
Yeah.
That was where the FMW came from. But for me, it was a chance to go to Japan at 20 years old, and being so young and so young in the business, it was such an amazing experience. You learning lessons not just in the ring but outside of the ring. And it was I was just thinking about it last night, as a matter of fact, just how cool it was to be there like I said, 20 years old in Japan and kind of, living your dream internationally. It was a great time for me to do those tours. I did 2 tours for FMW, and tours would be, going over there for 2, 3 weeks at a time.
Nice. Do you ever fight Mr. Pogo?
I didn't wrestle Mr. Pogo.
Yeah.
Years later, I was in a company called War, and Mr. Pogo was there. So I spent some time, with him in the dressing room. It's actually a great quote that I think about all the time that Mr. Pogo said that if I said it right now, I'd get canceled. But amongst my friends, it's a very funny quote. And yeah, he was quite the character. And
Oh
but
yeah.
that's the thing, you would learn a lot from these guys because there was a lot of veterans over there for FMW and for War that I worked in. And it was a great way to kind of, much like the death tour, it was a rite of passage. Can you handle a 3-week tour of Japan? Because as hard as the death tour is in northern Manitoba and the frozen tundra, being on a bus for 3 weeks traveling rural Japan isn't very easy either. So, all of these things is what you have to do to make it to the level that I've made it to and so many others have, but you got to pay those dues, man. And at the time, you wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. And also, you are a co-founder of AEW, and they're coming to my city, Ottawa, Ontario, for the first time in March, which I'm very excited about. What do you want to see happen with the organization in the year 2024?
Say that one more time.
What do you want to see happen with AEW in 2024?
Well, I mean, I think we've grown so much in the 4 years that we've been in existence. So just to continue to build this company, we were number one on cable again on Wednesday night, and to be a number one show in any genre, any type of show after 4 years is massive. So, we've got a hit television program, and we want to continue to build upon that and continue to make it great.
Oh, I can't wait to check it out myself. Do you have a favorite current wrestler to perform with?
I mean, there's so many, but the first one that comes to mind is Moxley. Probably, we always have great
Okay.
matches. But put me in there with anybody in AEW, and everybody's a professional and everybody's doing a great job. So I'm just happy to be a part of it and be involved, and like I said, to continue to build the company.
Good stuff. And do you think Triple H is the guy right now to be the chief content officer over at the WWE?
Do I think he's the guy? Well, he is the guy. So that's an easy question to answer. He's in charge.
Do you think he's the right guy to do it?
Sure. I mean, I don't see anybody else that could probably do that. It's not easy to be the head of a company. Same with Tony Khan. When you're leading a multi-billion-dollar company, especially with wrestling, because it is such an interesting form of entertainment. There's a lot of responsibilities, and it takes a special person to be able to do that.
All right. Well, Chris, thanks a lot for your time. Is there a final word you'd like to end this interview with about the Death Tour?
Just excited, man. We're going to Slam Dance, baby.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It was so much fun to talk to you.
Thanks, Mike.